And remember, all three of these mistakes all have relationships to our hormone levels, especially our testosterone levels. Hey guys, Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I want to talk to you guys about the three biggest mistakes men over 40 make when trying to lose weight. And guys, all three of these mistakes point back to something that I've talked about over and over and over with you, and that is our testosterone levels. So these three things all affect our T levels, and remember, our T levels are far more important now as we age than they were back when we were young. When we were in our 20s and 30s, we didn't really have to worry about it. Those are the good old days. They're all gone. Just nature is taking over, right? We're getting older. We're naturally producing less testosterone each year as we age, but there are some things we can do to keep our testosterone high. And remember, there's also the three things we're going to talk about right now that will actually lower our testosterone. And man, our T levels don't need any help when it comes to going lower, especially as we get older. All right, so let's talk about the first mistake, and that is the way we do our cardio. So you guys out there that are still stuck in the mentality from years and years ago where you learned or read that you had to go out and do long cardio sessions, run, jog miles and miles and miles, get on the stationary bike for hours every week, okay? Do the treadmill, whatever it is, okay? Those days are gone. You need to put that mentality behind you because that's called catabolic cardio. So once you get past a certain point, you're no longer burning fat, okay? And your body transitions over and it starts using muscle as a source of energy. So yes, your body can actually tear down muscle, okay, if you're doing too much cardio, all right? So some cardio is good, all right, but too much, especially that long, boring stuff, really isn't, okay? And so what happens is when we get into this catabolic state, it actually lowers our T levels. So think about it, guys. Think of, you know, during the Olympics, anytime you're thinking about professional athletes, runners, okay? Think about the two extremes. You got the sprinters, and then you got the long distance runners, the marathon guys, and look at the difference in their physiques, right? So yeah, the marathon runners, they don't have any fat, right? But they look terrible, right? They also don't have any muscle, all right? And a lot of times, those guys have got really low T levels. You just don't know about all the problems that go along with that because we're celebrating them for their ability to run 26 miles really fast. Then on the other hand, look at these sprinters. Man, those guys rock. Fantastic physiques, right? And guess what? They don't have any fat either. So let's focus on doing cardio like the sprinters, all right? And I'm about to talk about that and how to accomplish that even at our age. The first rule is, or the first mistake is, avoid catabolic cardio. And that's that boring long distance stuff. And instead, all right, I still want you guys to do cardio. Do high intensity interval training cardio. It's basically just a sprinter's mentality, okay? And so that type of cardio where you're literally out of breath, okay? It's anaerobic, meaning you're doing it without oxygen. Your body, your lungs and your heart can't keep up. It can't provide enough oxygen to the muscles, and hence you literally have to stop the sprint, all right? And your sprint literally could be running up a hill, running flat, you know, 50, 60 yards as fast as you can, but I don't recommend that, okay, because you're gonna pull a hamstring just like I would. So lots of other ways you can do high intensity interval training. You can get on the elliptical at the gym and go all out, you know, turn up the resistance level and then pedal as hard as you can for 20 seconds, you're gonna be gassed, all right? You can get on the rowing machine, go as hard as you can for 20 seconds, you're gonna be gassed, all right? There's lots of different ways. Get on the stationary bike, same thing, as hard as you can for 20 seconds. You are totally out of breath. You're gonna start feeling that lactic acid buildup. And all of those things that I'm talking about send signals to our brain to ramp up production of testosterone. And because you only have to do it 5, 6, 7 cycles, you're not going to get to that stage where your body starts producing cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which your body actually does produce when you do those long, boring cardio sessions. So, high intensity interval training, yes. Long, boring cardio, no. Okay guys, mistake number 2, and this is my favorite, this is my forte, and that is guys don't lift weights when they're trying to lose weight, especially as we get older, all right? Lifting weights, pushing ourselves, building muscle is so important, far more important than it was when we were young, okay? And for lots of reasons, I'm just going to touch on these reasons real quick. First of all, when you're building muscle, okay, you're increasing your metabolic rate. And I'm talking about your resting metabolism. And your body burns calories 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So the more muscle you put on, the more calories you're going to burn just at rest. Me sitting here talking to you, you sitting in front of your computer, watching TV, it doesn't matter. So the more muscle, the better. Secondly, when you do weight training, resistance training, weightlifting, it doesn't matter, those are all the same thing. You also, if you're doing it correctly, sending signals to your brain, yep, produce more testosterone, okay? And the more T you have, the more efficient your body becomes at building muscle. It's like a self-reinforcing upward spiral, or if you want to think about it, a snowball, okay? It's getting bigger and bigger, you know, it's building with momentum. So those guys are 2 super simple reasons. And the other thing is, you know, when you're doing resistance training, you're actually making your joints stronger. You're making your tendons, your ligaments, you know, the connective tissue stronger. All right? And so when we do that as we get older, guess what? It means we're going to get injured far less. All right? So the people who are getting injured as they get older are people that are sedentary. Okay? Yes, I know you can get hurt exercising. All right? Totally get it. But far more people get injured just because they're so out of shape. They get injured stepping off a little 12-inch, you know, step, okay, or a 6-inch curb, or just all kinds of little simple things. So when we're doing resistance training, we're also teaching our body the mind-muscle connection and balance and coordination, all of which is really important as we get older, because if you're like me, all right, you just are not nearly as active, you're not as athletic as you were, and then all this kind of weight training stuff forces you to be able to balance weights, balance your own body weight, okay, when you're doing these different exercises. All of that has tons of positive ramifications. All right, finally, the third mistake. And I don't know if you guys would have guessed this or not, but it's diet, okay? So I want you to think of the word diet as a dirty word, okay? I don't want you guys going on diets. And I'm saying diets with air quotes around them, all right? If you follow my Fit After 50 program, it comes with a nutrition plan. It doesn't come with a diet, okay? And the reason I say don't get on a diet is because diets have beginnings and endings, all right? And that is a big problem. So these really caloric restrictive diets that guys get on, they just figure if they just eat less food, they cut out all these carbs, that, you know, they're going to go into a caloric deficit, they'll start losing fat, and that does work to some extent, but it also causes metabolic damage. It tells your body that you're in starvation mode, okay? And then if you do it too long, your metabolism adjusts. Your body's pretty smart, and it slows down to try to conserve your existing fat stores so you don't starve to death, all right? So going on these super crazy low calorie diets or low carb diets can do more than just screw up your metabolism. It can also screw up your hormones, your T levels. So remember, I told you all 3 mistakes all point back to your testosterone, all right? So the very first one was long boring cardio can screw up your T levels. Number 2, not lifting weights means you're not getting the benefit of high T levels. And then these crazy diets that people are going on can also lower your testosterone levels. And remember, testosterone is important for lots of reasons. One, it builds muscle. And then the other thing a lot of people don't realize is the higher your T levels are, the more efficient your body is, your metabolism is, at using your existing body fat as a source of energy. It's weird. I've studied it. Scientists really don't know exactly why this happens, but It has been proven in study after study after study that people with low T levels tend to hold on to fat, their existing fat stores, and people with higher T levels tend to just automatically burn their body fat as a source of energy. So it's a double whammy. And then guys, when you're working on your nutrition, okay, and then my Fit After 50 program has got all kinds of different meal plans and recommendations for types of foods that you should eat, types of foods that you should avoid, okay? And then the other thing is, I recommend you at least try some supplementation in there with your nutrition. Remember, your non-diet nutrition. We've come up with a supplement called Anabolic Shred that's just super easy. I recommend you take it about 10 to 15 minutes before you have a meal, especially a meal that's going to have a lot of carbs in it. And once again, don't avoid carbs, all right? I want you to cut out the stupid carbs, the processed carbs, all right? The refined sugars is a processed carb. Too much bread, all right? Too much pizza, too much pasta. Those are real refined carbohydrates that you want to keep to a minimum. You don't have to totally eliminate them, guys. You don't have to be perfect. I sure don't eliminate them entirely. But if you take the Anabolic Shred before you're going to have it be eating a meal that has a fair amount of carbs in it, it'll really help your body combat the problem of storing the carbs as fat, okay? And so just check it out on our website. It's real easy. It's got 6 ingredients in it, and our website is exceptionally well designed because you can just click on all the different ingredients and it brings up a really nice description of what that ingredient does and why we put it in the product. So just give it a shot. If it doesn't work for you, no big deal. Just let us know, send us an email, and we'll refund your money. We have a phenomenal guarantee. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't at least give it a try. All right, guys, so hopefully you got something out of this. 3 really common mistakes I see and hear about all the time guys over 40 make when they're trying to lose body fat. And remember, all 3 of these mistakes all have relationships to our hormone levels, especially our testosterone levels. So guys, you didn't get overweight overnight, right? That means you're not going to lose this weight overnight. But if you're really smart and do all these little tricks and tips that Gary and I talk about on a regular basis, I promise they really add up quick. And I see tons of people on our Facebook group constantly sending in stories about how they're losing 10 pounds a month. They've done 3 phases, they've lost 25, 30 pounds. They feel a ton better, they got more energy, their sex drive is through the roof. And so the point I'm getting to here is, if you just stick with the plan and never give up on yourself, I promise you can lose tons of fat even after the age of 40.